My dear brothers and sisters, sometimes in life, Allah's help is not immediately visible. We may find ourselves in trials, feeling lost or overwhelmed, yet behind every difficulty lies a hidden blessing. Know this, Allah is always working for you, even when you cannot see it. Patience is the key. Those who remain steadfast, who trust in His plan, are the ones who will witness relief and ease. And indeed, there are signs that good times are near. Perhaps you feel a renewed strength in your heart, a sense of clarity in your decisions, or even small blessings that remind you that Allah has not forgotten you. These are whispers of hope, gentle reminders that brighter days are ahead. While you wait, do not forget to be grateful. Even the smallest blessing is a sign of His mercy. Reflect on yourself, on your journey, and let your hardships shape you into a better, stronger person. Optimism is not just a feeling, it is an act of faith. Hold on to hope. Keep your heart firm in trust and know that Allah's hidden help is closer than you think. The best is yet to come. One of the most profound realities of our faith is that Allah's help is often hidden. It is easy for us to become disheartened when we face trials, when life seems heavy and our hearts are weighed down with worry and anxiety. We may look around and wonder, where is the relief? Why am I still struggling? Yet it is precisely at these moments that Allah is working for us in ways we cannot see. Often His help does not arrive in the way we imagine. We may expect doors to open immediately, problems to disappear overnight, or blessings to fall into our hands without effort. But Allah's wisdom surpasses our understanding. His timing is perfect, and His methods are beyond what we can comprehend. Consider for a moment the nature of hidden help. It may come as a person you least expect extending kindness, as an opportunity that seems small but transforms your life, or as a change within yourself that equips you to overcome future challenges. Sometimes the relief is not immediate. It may arrive months or even years later, but it is always there, shaping your journey in ways that are ultimately for your good. Just as a seed buried in the soil must undergo darkness and pressure before it sprouts into a strong, fruitful tree, so too do our difficulties prepare us for the blessings that lie ahead. The trials we endure are not punishments, but opportunities, tools in Allah's hands to strengthen our character, increase our reliance on Him, and refine our patience and faith. Patience is central to recognizing Allah's hidden help. It is easy to surrender to despair when our prayers seem unanswered, when our efforts appear fruitless, and when life's burdens press heavily upon us. Yet patience is not merely passive waiting. It is active trust. It is holding firm to faith while navigating the storm, knowing that no difficulty is permanent and no hardship is without purpose. Allah reminds us in the Quran that after every hardship there is ease. This promise is not vague, it is certain. Even if the relief is hidden, even if it is delayed, it will come. And when it does, it often exceeds our imagination because Allah's generosity knows no bounds. Hidden help can also be subtle, almost imperceptible. It may appear as a quiet strength in your heart when you face a challenge, a new perspective that allows you to see solutions you could not before, or a gentle guidance that nudges you toward the right decision at the right time. Many times we search for grand miracles, forgetting that the most profound acts of Allah often occur in the ordinary, in the everyday moments that we overlook. A kind word, a timely conversation, a door that opens just when it is needed. These are signs of Allah's help waiting for those with eyes to see and hearts to recognize. One of the most beautiful aspects of hidden help is that it teaches humility. It reminds us that we are not in control of everything, that life is not simply the sum of our own efforts, and that our reliance must be on Allah alone. When we struggle to see the outcome, when we cannot trace the path, it is a moment to surrender, to pray sincerely, and to trust that Allah is orchestrating events in ways far greater than we imagine. The human mind may not understand why certain doors close or why certain plans fail, but often these apparent setbacks are actually the very mechanisms through which Allah prepares the ground for greater blessings. It is also important to understand that hidden help often works in tandem with our own efforts. Allah does not remove the need for action, but He blesses those actions when they are aligned with faith and sincerity. Struggle and effort are not signs that Allah has abandoned us, rather they are signs that He is preparing the stage, shaping the circumstances, and ensuring that when help arrives, it is complete and enduring. The hidden help may be invisible to our eyes, but it is never absent. Even in the darkest moments, Allah is present, guiding, protecting, and providing in ways we may never fully comprehend. So, my dear brothers and sisters, let us train ourselves to see beyond the immediate, to recognize that what appears as difficulty may be a blessing in disguise, and that Allah's help is always closer than we think. Let us remain patient, trust in His wisdom, and look for the subtle signs of His mercy in every situation. Let us remember that no matter how deep the darkness, the light of Allah's help is never far away. It may be hidden, it may be delayed, but it is certain, and it will manifest in ways that are beyond our imagination. When we hold firm to faith, when we acknowledge His presence even in struggle, and when we embrace patience with sincerity, we align ourselves with the divine flow of life, and we position ourselves to receive the hidden blessings that Allah has prepared for us. Truly, Allah's help is a secret that unfolds for those who trust, persevere, and maintain hope. And when that help becomes visible, it is often greater than we could have ever imagined. My dear brothers and sisters, patience and trust are two of the most essential qualities that a believer must nurture in life. Often we encounter situations that test our resolve, that challenge our hearts, and that seem at first glance impossible to endure. In these moments, the natural reaction of the human soul is to become anxious, frustrated, or even despairing. Yet, Islam teaches us that patience is not simply about waiting for difficulties to pass. It is a conscious choice to remain steadfast, to rely on Allah, and to maintain hope even when circumstances seem bleak. True patience is active, not passive. It is a deliberate act of faith, a demonstration of our understanding that Allah knows what is best for us, and that His wisdom is far beyond our limited perception. Trust in Allah, known as Tawakkul, complements patience perfectly. It is the inner conviction that Allah is the ultimate planner, the one who guides events in ways that are perfectly aligned with our best interests. Trust is not blind, it is cultivated through reflection, understanding, and experience. When we have faced trials in the past and witnessed Allah's mercy and provision, our trust deepens. We recognize that the difficulties of today are shaping us for tomorrow, and that what appears as hardship may be the very tool through which blessings are prepared. The combination of patience and trust is powerful. It allows the heart to remain calm, the mind to think clearly, and the soul to maintain a connection with the divine even amidst chaos. Many of us have experienced moments when life seemed unbearable, when the burdens felt heavier than we could bear. Perhaps we prayed earnestly, seeking relief, yet nothing seemed to change. In such moments, patience is our anchor, and trust is our guiding light. Without patience, we may act hastily, make decisions out of fear, or lose hope entirely. Without trust, our patience may waver, and our hearts may fill with doubt. But when both are cultivated, they transform our perspective. We begin to see challenges not as punishments or random misfortunes, but as opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to strengthen our faith, and to draw closer to Allah. Patience and trust also teach us humility. They remind us that we are not the ultimate controllers of our destiny, that life's outcomes are not solely in our hands, and that Allah's wisdom governs all things. Sometimes we are quick to question, why is this happening to me? Or why does Allah allow this? And yet every difficulty carries within it the seeds of blessing. A missed opportunity may protect us from harm. A closed door may redirect us to a path of far greater success. A trial may build resilience, empathy, and inner strength that no easy victory could ever provide. Patience allows us to endure these moments without resentment, and trust allows us to believe in the hidden wisdom behind them. The Quran reassures us repeatedly about the value of patience and trust. Allah tells us that those who endure with patience will be rewarded beyond measure, and that relief comes with every hardship. These promises are not empty words. They are reminders that the universe operates under Allah's divine wisdom, and that our perseverance is never wasted. Trust encourages us to act with sincerity and integrity, knowing that our efforts are seen and valued by the one who knows everything. Even when results are delayed, trust gives us the confidence to continue striving, because we understand that outcomes are ultimately in Allah's hands, and that He will never abandon those who rely on Him. Patience and trust also shape our interactions with others. A patient and trusting heart is less prone to anger, jealousy, or despair. It becomes a source of calm and reassurance for those around us. When we trust in Allah, we do not rush to blame others or the world for our circumstances. Instead, we seek solutions, act responsibly, and maintain hope. Our patience inspires others, and our trust becomes a beacon of faith. We begin to see that life is not about avoiding difficulties, but about navigating them with grace, faith, and resilience. It is important to remember that patience and trust are not static qualities. They are cultivated through practice. Each challenge we face is an opportunity to strengthen them. Each time we resist despair, choose hope over fear, and rely on Allah instead of solely on our own understanding, our patience and trust grow. And when the relief finally comes, as it always does, the sweetness of success is amplified because we have endured with faith. The journey itself becomes a source of blessing, shaping us into better, stronger, and more compassionate human beings. So let us hold firm to patience in our trials and cultivate unwavering trust in Allah. Let us remind ourselves that every difficulty carries a hidden blessing, and that every moment of endurance draws us closer to divine mercy. Let us live with hearts anchored in faith, confident that Allah's plan is perfect and assured that He never burdens a soul beyond what it can bear. In patience, there is strength. In trust, there is peace. And together, they illuminate the path through life's darkest moments, guiding us toward the good times that await, insha'Allah. One of the most comforting realities in our journey of faith is that Allah never leaves His servants without hope. Even in the deepest valleys of difficulty, there are signs, often subtle, sometimes almost imperceptible, that ease and relief are on their way. Many of us look for grand miracles, expecting life to change overnight in ways that are obvious and dramatic. Yet Allah's wisdom is such that His help often comes quietly, through small and gentle signs that, if we are attentive, can give our hearts reassurance and confidence that better times are near. Recognizing these signs requires patience, mindfulness, and a heart attuned to gratitude. It requires understanding that the divine plan often unfolds gradually, and that relief is frequently preceded by subtle shifts in our circumstances, thoughts, and emotions. One of the first signs of relief often appears within ourselves. Perhaps we begin to feel a sense of clarity in our decisions, a renewed strength in our actions, or a calmness in our hearts, where previously there was confusion and fear. These changes, though internal and invisible to others, are indicators that Allah is preparing the path ahead. Sometimes we notice that we are able to bear our burdens more easily, or that the weight on our shoulders feels lighter than before. This inner shift is a powerful sign that Allah's hidden help is already at work. It is a reminder that relief is not only external, in the form of material ease or visible success, but also internal, in the form of resilience, wisdom, and emotional fortitude. Another sign of forthcoming ease often comes in the form of opportunities. Life may present small doors that were previously closed, or open doors that seem unexpected. These may be moments to reconnect with a friend who provides guidance, a new opportunity for work or study, or a chance encounter that sets things in motion for greater good. Sometimes the blessings are subtle. A kind word from someone, a small solution to a problem, or an unexpected moment of guidance. These seemingly minor events are often the prelude to larger changes, and they are Allah's way of preparing us to receive His mercy. It is important, therefore, to remain attentive and thankful, for recognizing these signs strengthens our faith and gives our hearts hope. Often, the signs of relief are intertwined with the presence of gratitude. When we begin to notice and appreciate the small blessings in our lives, the health we have, the relationships that support us, the opportunities to grow, or even the very breath we take, we align ourselves with Allah's mercy. Gratitude acts like a magnet for further blessings. By counting the small victories and appreciating the hidden favors, we begin to see that Allah has never abandoned us and that relief is on the horizon. This awareness transforms our perspective. Difficulties no longer seem endless and hope takes root in the heart. Sometimes, signs of good times ahead appear in the resolution of conflicts or challenges that have been weighing heavily on us. Perhaps a long-standing problem begins to find a solution, or a strained relationship begins to heal. These moments, no matter how small, are indicators that Allah's help is manifesting in our lives. It is important to pay attention to these changes and not dismiss them as mere coincidence. They are reminders that divine wisdom operates in ways we cannot always fully comprehend, and that even gradual progress is a sign of Allah's mercy and intervention. The people around us can also serve as a source of these subtle signs. Supportive words, guidance, or acts of kindness from family, friends, or even strangers can be signals that Allah is preparing relief for us. Sometimes the universe aligns in ways that we do not expect, and opportunities come from places we could not have anticipated. Recognizing these signs requires mindfulness and reflection. It requires that we pause and observe, rather than rushing past the quiet moments that carry messages of hope. Finally, the most important sign of relief is the deepening of faith itself. When we notice our reliance on Allah strengthening, our patience becoming steadier, and our hearts finding peace amidst trials, it is an unmistakable signal that ease is near. Faith itself becomes a light, illuminating the path through darkness and preparing us for the good times ahead. These internal signs are often more lasting than any material change, for they shape our character and equip us to navigate future challenges with wisdom and resilience. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah's help is always near, even if it is hidden. The signs of relief may be small, subtle, and sometimes easily overlooked, but they are there for those with eyes to see and hearts to feel. By remaining attentive, grateful, and patient, we align ourselves with Allah's mercy, allowing hope to flourish even in the most difficult times. Life may not change overnight, but these signs are evidence that Allah's plan is unfolding perfectly and that the good times, insha'Allah, are just around the corner. Learn to recognize the whispers of His support, for they are gifts that remind us relief is near, ease is coming, and Allah's help is always closer than we think. One of the most transformative attitudes a believer can cultivate is gratitude, especially in the midst of difficulty. Life is full of challenges, and there will always be moments when our hearts feel heavy, our minds restless, and our spirits burdened. It is natural to feel overwhelmed during these times, to question why hardship has come our way, or to focus solely on what is lacking. Yet Islam teaches us that even in the darkest moments, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude is not limited to times of ease. It is most powerful when practiced during adversity. When we are able to acknowledge and appreciate the blessings we still possess, our perspective shifts, our hearts soften, and we become more aware of Allah's presence and mercy. Being grateful in difficult times does not mean ignoring our pain or pretending that challenges do not exist. Rather, it is a conscious decision to focus on the positives that remain despite the hardships. It is about finding light in darkness, hope in despair, and comfort in the midst of trials. The very act of recognizing even small blessings, the air we breathe, our health, our family, the ability to pray, or moments of peace, becomes an anchor that grounds us in faith. Gratitude allows us to see that Allah has not abandoned us, even when life seems overwhelming. It reminds us that His mercy is always present, even if it is subtle or delayed. Gratitude also reshapes the way we experience trials. When we complain, when we dwell on what has gone wrong, our hearts become heavy and our faith is weakened. But when we cultivate gratitude, our perspective changes. We begin to see that challenges are not punishments, but opportunities. Opportunities for growth, for reflection, and for drawing closer to Allah. A difficult situation may teach patience, humility, resilience, and empathy, qualities that are far more valuable than any material comfort. By focusing on what we have rather than what we have lost, we align our hearts with Allah's wisdom and open ourselves to receiving His hidden blessings. Moreover, gratitude strengthens our connection with Allah. When we acknowledge the favors He has bestowed upon us, we are engaging in a form of worship. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us that those who are grateful are beloved to Allah and that gratitude brings increase. Even in the face of hardship, giving thanks demonstrates trust and submission. Recognizing that Allah knows what is best for us, gratitude becomes a bridge between our struggles and the ease that is promised, a tool through which our hearts find peace and our burdens become lighter. Practicing gratitude in difficult times also transforms our relationships with others. When our hearts are full of thankfulness, we are less likely to become bitter, resentful, or envious. We develop patience, kindness, and empathy toward those around us, even when circumstances are challenging. Gratitude fosters contentment, which in turn strengthens our communities and nurtures harmony in our interactions. We begin to notice and appreciate the small gestures of support, the words of encouragement, and the acts of kindness that often go unnoticed. These reminders of Allah's mercy manifest through the people around us, reinforcing the sense that we are not alone, even in our struggles. It is important to reflect on the countless blessings that remain present during hardships. Many times we focus on what is missing rather than what is given. We may overlook the very fact that we are alive, capable, and still striving, or forget the health, knowledge, and relationships that sustain us. By actively practicing gratitude, we develop an attitude that sees value and opportunity in every moment. We learn to celebrate small victories, to be thankful for incremental progress, and to acknowledge the hidden gifts that life provides. In this way, even the most difficult times can become a source of spiritual enrichment. Gratitude also has a profound effect on our mental and emotional well-being. Studies show that those who practice thankfulness experience greater resilience, reduced stress, and increased happiness. From an Islamic perspective, gratitude is a spiritual medicine. It reminds us that Allah is sufficient for us, that His plan is perfect, and that His wisdom guides every event. By focusing on what is already present rather than what is lacking, we invite peace into our hearts, clarity into our minds, and hope into our souls. Even when trials seem overwhelming, gratitude becomes a lens through which we see light and promise, strengthening our faith and resolve. My dear brothers and sisters, let us strive to cultivate gratitude, especially in the most challenging moments. Let us pause and reflect on the blessings that remain, no matter how small they may seem. Let us give thanks to Allah for His mercy, His wisdom, and His continuous support, even when we cannot fully understand His plan. When we practice gratitude in hardship, we open the door for relief, we strengthen our faith, and we invite ease into our lives. Truly, a heart that is grateful in difficulty becomes a heart that is resilient, hopeful, and ever attuned to Allah's hidden help. May we always recognize His favors, cherish them, and remain steadfast in our thanks, inshallah. One of the most profound lessons that life teaches us is that difficulty is not simply an obstacle, but an opportunity. It is easy to view trials as burdens, to feel overwhelmed when circumstances do not go as planned, and to become discouraged when challenges seem relentless. Yet for a believer, every trial carries with it a hidden lesson, a chance to grow, and a means to draw closer to Allah. Personal reflection is the tool that allows us to see these opportunities. When we take the time to examine our hearts, our intentions, and our actions in the light of difficulty, we uncover insights that can transform our character, our faith, and our approach to life itself. Difficult times have a unique way of revealing who we truly are. They expose our weaknesses, our attachments, and our tendencies toward impatience or despair. While this may feel uncomfortable, it is also a blessing. Recognition is the first step toward improvement. By reflecting on our responses to challenges, we gain self-awareness and can identify areas where we need to grow. Perhaps we notice that we rely too heavily on material comfort, or that our faith falters under pressure, or that we fail to extend kindness to others when stressed. These insights are invaluable, for they highlight the areas in which Allah's guidance is most needed. In this way, reflection turns difficulty into a mirror, showing us not just the external challenges, but also the internal opportunities for growth. Personal reflection also allows us to refine our intentions and align our actions with our higher purpose. In times of ease, it is easy to become complacent, to act without mindfulness, or to take blessings for granted. But when life becomes challenging, we are prompted to pause, reconsider, and evaluate whether our actions reflect the values and principles of our faith. We are reminded to act with sincerity, patience, and integrity, even when circumstances are unfavorable. Difficult moments become training grounds for moral and spiritual excellence, shaping us into individuals who respond to adversity with wisdom and resilience, rather than frustration and despair. Challenges also encourage spiritual growth by deepening our reliance on Allah. When we face difficulties, we are reminded of our limitations and of the need for divine guidance. Reflection prompts us to examine how we turn to Allah in times of need, whether we seek Him sincerely, trust in His plan, and remain patient, or whether we allow anxiety and doubt to take over. By engaging in this reflection, we strengthen our connection to our Creator, cultivate humility, and develop a more profound sense of gratitude when relief eventually comes. The very act of turning inward, of evaluating our thoughts and emotions, is itself a form of worship that draws us closer to Allah and purifies our hearts. Difficult times also provide opportunities to build resilience. Life's challenges test our perseverance, teach us endurance, and prepare us for future trials. Reflection helps us recognize patterns in our lives, moments when we were tested, how we responded, and what lessons were learned. By analyzing these experiences, we develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the strategies we need to navigate hardship successfully. Each trial becomes a stepping stone, not a stumbling block, allowing us to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling life's uncertainties. Furthermore, reflection in difficult times encourages empathy and compassion. When we have struggled, we understand the pain of others more deeply. We become more patient listeners, more generous in our support, and more sensitive to the needs of those around us. Life's challenges, when examined thoughtfully, transform us from individuals who are focused solely on our own hardships into individuals who are capable of uplifting others. In this way, personal reflection turns personal trials into a source of collective benefit, spreading kindness and understanding in our communities. It is also important to remember that self-improvement through reflection is not instantaneous. It is a gradual process that requires consistency, honesty, and humility. Each time we face a difficulty and pause to evaluate our reactions, our intentions, and our reliance on Allah, we take a step forward in personal and spiritual growth. Even small insights, when acted upon, can have profound effects on our character and our faith. Difficulties are not permanent, but the lessons we extract from them can endure for a lifetime, shaping the way we respond to future challenges with wisdom, patience, and hope. Let us embrace the power of personal reflection. Let us see every difficulty as a chance to examine our hearts, refine our intentions, and grow spiritually. Let us recognize that challenges are not punishments, but opportunities, carefully designed by Allah to prepare us for greater blessings, deeper faith, and more meaningful lives. When we reflect thoughtfully, respond with patience, and rely on Allah sincerely, we transform trials into triumphs. Difficult times become classrooms for the soul, shaping our character, fortifying our faith, and nurturing a deeper, more resilient connection to Allah. May we always approach challenges with this mindset, seeking growth, wisdom, and closeness to our Creator, Insha'Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the most powerful tools a believer possesses is hope. Hope is not a mere feeling or wishful thinking. It is a conscious, deliberate choice to trust in Allah's mercy, wisdom, and plan, even when circumstances seem bleak. In Islam, hope is more than just optimism. It is a form of worship. When we remain hopeful, we acknowledge that Allah is the ultimate provider, the most merciful, and the knower of all things. Hope strengthens our faith, uplifts our hearts, and empowers us to persevere, even in the most challenging times. It reminds us that no matter how heavy our burdens may feel, relief is never far, and Allah's help is always near. Optimism and faith go hand in hand. Optimism without faith can be superficial, dependent only on temporary circumstances.